Hola y bienvenidos to Learn at Home Episodio 3. Today we're going to continue with our subjunctive wedding by introducing the E, emotions. You will be given a new set of trigger phrases to watch for that it will indicate a context that may require the use of the subjunctive, all of which have to do with expressing emotions and feelings. We will also look at statements of fact or belief which do not require the subjunctive. Remember, the great thing about these Learn at Home lessons are that you are in control of how fast the lesson goes, and if you need to hear something again, you can just back the video up and try again. Before you begin, make sure that you have your guided notes, a pen or a pencil, and a red pen to make corrections as you try this out for the first time. You might also find it handy to have your Chapter 2.1 vocabulary list nearby as well. Remember, lots of red on your paper means that you have learned something during the course of this lesson. Let's get started. Take a look at the 4 sentences in the chart below. Use your vocab sheet from Chapter 2.2 if you need help, and translate each of the sentences to English. If you don't recognize a word, it might be a cognate, or you may be able to figure out what it means based on the context of the sentence. After you have translated to English, circle sí o no to indicate whether or not you agree with the statement. Pause the video now to complete this part of the activity. Okay, let's see how you did. For the first sentence, it frustrates me that my friends gossip. It surprises me that my sister lies. It irritates me that my parents don't trust me. It bothers me that my boyfriend doesn't respect my feelings. Let's take a moment and try and notice some patterns in these sentences. In English, write any observations you have about the underlined verbs in the main clause, as well as the italicized verbs in the dependent clauses. In what tense are the verbs conjugated? Do the translations of the verbs have anything in common? What do you notice? Pause the video to answer the questions. Although your observations may differ slightly, we should be able to recognize some of the same patterns. So the underlined verbs are all in the indicative, and they all express emotion, whereas the italicized verbs all have subjunctive endings. These sentences show us that the subjunctive is used after verbs and phrases that express emotion and feelings, such as happiness, or frustration, or anger, sadness, surprise, any other emotion that you can think of. Let's take a look at the list of verbs that you will start to recognize as trigger phrases for the use of the subjunctive in the dependent clause. Pause the video, see how many of these you can translate to English based on prior knowledge or cognates. How'd you do? Let's take a look. Make corrections as we go through each one. Notice that for the first example, we've reminded you of the indirect object pronouns that you might need to use with each verb. For me, me. For you, te. For him, her, or the formal you, usted, you'd need le. Nos for us. Os for you all, only in Spain, of course. And les for they and you all. Me gusta que, I like that. Me molesta que, it bothers me that. Me sorprende que, it surprises me that. Me alegra de que, I'm happy that. It irritates me that. Me irrita que. Me preocupa que, I'm worried that. Sentir que, to be sorry that. Me enoja que, I'm angry that. Now, see if you can fill in the blanks for each of these sentences using the subjunctive to express how the person is feeling. Remember the 3 steps to conjugating in the present subjunctive. 1. Conjugate in the yo form for the regular present tense indicative. 2. Drop the o. And 3. Add the opposite ending. See if you can translate the sentences aloud to English as well. Pause the video until you're ready to check your answers. How'd you do? The first translates as, we don't like that our friends don't keep our secrets. So we don't like is an emotional reaction to our friends not keeping our secrets. Me preocupa que means it worries me that mi amiga tenga fama de ser desleal, that my friend is known for being disloyal. Again, worried is definitely a reaction. Tune in for part 2.